Hello and welcome to hopefully another episode of Crates and Pills. So, book, you know, I went fishing the other day and I'm telling you right now, so long, what have you so spent in honor of all my good work. We caught some barracuda, some whitefish, some mackerel. I didn't catch the barracuda, the captain did, but I did catch the mackerel. One only thing I was on there, I've never really caught a fish in my first person on the boat. I caught two fish on the same reel. So I'm like, so I'm keeping them. What here be and hoping to be push up 5 minutes or so for it to cook. Start with some whitefish. The recipe that I posted up says a pound of whitefish, a half a pound of scallop or shrimp, 3/4 cups of lime juice, a 1/4 cup of orange juice, a teaspoon of honey, some plum tomatoes, half a red onion diced up, about a 1 clove of garlic diced up, some avocados diced, 3 tablespoons of cilantro, and salt and pepper to taste. Now, I'm not doing scallop and shrimp because I didn't catch scallop and shrimp, and I wanted to do everything that I actually caught. So we're just doing the white fish. In regard to the onions, the cilantro, the tomatoes, don't that sound a whole lot like pico de gallo? Exactly. So save yourself some time and headache, get you some pico de gallo already cut up in the store, and you go from there. All right, so what we have here, let me get this burner out the way. We don't need that right now. What we have here is the white fish that I've already, I'm gonna need this. I've already cubed up. So just take the white fish, cut it into small pieces, about yay big. Next, we're gonna take this juice, and this is nothing but fresh orange juice and fresh lime juice that I've actually mixed all together. We're gonna give this a nice little stir. Make sure all that fish is covered, and we're gonna let that sit in the refrigerator for roughly 20 minutes or so, and let it cook. I don't know if that's the proper term, cook, but let it turn white, do its thing. Get this covered, set this timer, and we're gonna put this out of our way for now. Now, for the brown butter perch, I'm actually gonna pass here perch and barracuda, because I never had barracuda that I can recall. I may have, I don't remember, but I love eating fish, but I don't know a dadgum thing about the different types of fish and what to do with them. I'm a catfish, red snapper type of guy. So here's with that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna brown off some butter. We'll take that out, get this butter ready. We'll start browning. Before that, we're gonna mix up a little flour seasoning to put in here. So for the flour seasoning, we're gonna whisk about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and about 2 tablespoons or so, or teaspoons or so of salt. We're gonna whisk this together, and that's what we're gonna use to pan fry these perch in. So it's California blue perch. You can actually use any type of firm white fish, even with the ceviche. You can use any type of firm white fish, but obviously we're using what we caught. Let's turn this burner on. To that, we're gonna put about 2 tablespoons of butter and let that melt off. Again, you're only getting it down, you're gonna let it get to a frothy brown while it's cooking down. Again, if you're just now tuning in, today we're doing ceviche and some brown butter perch. We went out fishing yesterday and we caught a bunch of different fish. We have the ceviche marinating with 3/4 cup of lime juice, a 1/4 cup of orange juice, and a teaspoon of honey. We're gonna let that marinate now for about another 15 minutes or so. Take that out, add the rest of the ingredients, which consist of a diced red onion, clove of garlic, some cilantro. Mix that all in. That's it for another 10 minutes or so. Adjust the season and add the avocado. For the brown butter perch, you can use any fleshy, firm white fish. We're using blue perch and barracuda. You add a cup of flour, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, about a half a teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of salt, and you're going to melt the butter until it turns brown. We're basically going to just take these fish fillets and dust them in this flour and pan fry them right here. And as always, folks, this show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guy as well as Self-Lodge Planning. So for all your business and tax needs, please contact the Self-Employed Tax Guy. He's there for your business edutainment and entertainment. See him on YouTube as well. Does taxes, business development, business startups, and just overall general consulting. For Self-Lodge Planning, again, once we get off punishment, y'all hit Self-Lodge Planning up for y'all your group and personal travel needs. All right. I told you before, I love this induction burner and I love these stainless steel pans because, as I said last week's show, this don't get this hot this fast inside the on a fire burner. So I think my next house will have nothing but induction burners everywhere. Oh, and also for those of you who think about the induction, I don't want to change out my pots and pans. I figure if I could think it up, it already exists. There's actually a metal plate you can buy. I saw it on Amazon to turn any pan into an induction pan. All right, as that's turned off, just not that you care, not that you can tell. This is the blue Perch, and this one here is and this is the Barracuda. Not sure if you can tell the difference in them, but that's what we're using. So let's go and just flour these up a little bit. Move these off to the side. Again, if you are just tuning in, we are now browning off some butter for this brown buttered perch, which is basically some perch that we're going to flour up with some seasoned flour that has some black pepper, salt, cayenne, flouring it up in the seasoned mixture. And then we're going to cook it off in this brown butter. Now, folks, if we start running out of butter, it starts burning. I got some olive oil over here because we ain't going to keep browning butter. But you want that brownness for that kind of nutty flavor. Just start laying these in. Turn this up a tad. And we're going to start pan frying these off. You don't want to overcrowd your pans. So it may take a minute to get all these done. I was on the boat yesterday, and the sign of a good fisherman is how well he lie. With that said, I'm telling you, promise you, I caught like it was a sea bass about yay big. I was struggling with it. It had to be about 30 pounds or so, but I ended up tossing it back. And since y'all wasn't there, y'all can't tell me I'm lying. But for the fishing folks, we went out to Channel Island out here in Southern California. It was definitely an experience to go out there and fish your own food. Reminds me of a story. Me and the producer, we were at Father's Day out in San Pedro, and we had got some oysters. And I hate to put him on blast. No, I don't. I'm gonna put him on blast like this. He goes, "Man, fish tastes funny." I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "It tastes like it's too fresh, like the ocean." And I'm like, "Well, that's exactly what it's supposed to taste like." Now, what that says to me, many of us have not had fresh fish. If you are in an area where you have a fishmonger or you're close to bodies of water, trust me, try fresh fish. You will love it. It'll change your life. Right. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we're doing some ceviche along with some brown butter perch. To the perch, we took some seasoned flour, a teaspoon of black pepper, half teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of salt. To that, we browned off some butter, and we're pan frying that now. We're going to top these off with some lemon afterwards, real quick meal. For the ceviche, we had a pound of whitefish, 3/4 cups of lime, 1/4 cup of orange juice, a teaspoon of honey. We mixed that together and we poured that over the fish. It's now sitting and cooking or transforming. I don't know what the proper term is. To me, cooking means you got heat on it, but it's transforming for us to eat. Once that's done, we're going to add in some diced red onion, clove of garlic, avocado, mix that all up, season up with salt and pepper, and I'm going to add some cumin because that's just what I want to do. And we're going to serve that alongside some roasted potatoes, but roasted potatoes ain't part of the show. Let's go and give this a nice flip. And I'm going to run and get me a receiving plate. And I'll be right back to wash my hands. And if y'all out there in Facebook and YouTube land, let us know. Let your comments. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, share us with your friends, your family. Any comments, questions, critiques you have, please hit us up either at askme@createsimplemeals.com or you can hit us up directly on Facebook. And we also on Instagram and Instagram TV. Give me a second, folks. All right. While we doing this, I think I'm gonna see how these fish is doing. Let them keep cooking. And while we're waiting on them, I'm gonna start preparing me a drink, I think. So, I said I'm gonna start trying to incorporate a couple of drinks every now and again, because I'm always drinking anyway. Might as well do something with it. We're gonna do us a nice little margarita here today. Stirred, not shaken. So we're gonna add a little bit of ice to this. To that, we're gonna add in about 2 ounces of whatever silver tequila you like. That's 1 boogie woogie, and that's 2 boogie woogie. Might as well gonna do 3. That way it's already made. I ain't got to keep on making it. We're gonna add into that. Now I'm using fresh lime juice, orange juice that I end up mixing up. So we're gonna put half amount of that same mixture. So for that, plus I got a seed in there. That fresh mix ain't always easy to work with. Put in some fresh orange juice and lime juice and some honey. You can use simple syrup, but I prefer to use honey on this one. Check our fish while we at it. Them getting nice and flaky. Give them a few more minutes. You can use simple syrup, but I'm gonna use a little bit of honey, or agave will work as well. So you want about a teaspoon or so of that. I'm putting more because I'm making more. Have your handy dandy stir. I know some folks like to salt their rim. I ain't a real big fan of the salted rim, me personally. It's my drink, so I can do this. All right. See how this here thing tastes. Nice in here. Again, folks, please click that like button and share, and follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support is definitely well appreciated and welcome, as well as your comments, thoughts, criticisms. That's pretty good. And overall general critiques. We'll put these right here. If you have something you would like for us to try, I've gotten a few inboxes and what they call them things, direct messages, and text messages, those that have my personal number. So I did receive your different ideas of what you want for me to start cooking, and I will be adding those into the show. But for everyone else, please email me at askme@createsimplemeals.com. That website is coming soon. Or inbox me here on Facebook. I think Instagram got that same feature. I don't know. I'm kind of old, so I ain't really into this social media stuff. But I do have an Instagram, and if it alerts me, I will check it, as well as on YouTube. Clean this up just a little bit more. As far as the fish today, as I told you, I went out yesterday and caught. So the recipe calls for perch, but we actually doing barracuda and perch. 8 ounces of perch, and you use about a cup of seasoned flour. You're going to season it with half teaspoon of black pepper, half teaspoon of cayenne, about 2 teaspoons of salt, and you're going to mix some brown butter. So basically 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan till it gets brown and frothy. You're going to pan fry those fillets right in there. We're going to top it off with some lemon. For the ceviche, we simply took some white fish, fresh white fish that we caught yesterday. Yes, I actually did catch it. 3/4 cups of lime and a 1/4 cup of orange juice and a teaspoon of honey. You're going to mix that all together. You're going to pour that over your fish and let that sit for about 20 minutes or so. Once that's done, we're going to fold in about a half of red onions already been chopped, clove of minced garlic, and some tomatoes and cilantro, basically pico de gallo. Mix that in, let that sit for approximately another 10 minutes or so, just to get those flavors to marry. We're gonna adjust that seasoning with salt, pepper, and I'm gonna add a little cumin to that, and that will be your simple ceviche. Whoa, that's starting to smell kind of smoky. It didn't burn, but it sure smell like it. So again, with the butter, because butter after a certain point starts getting black, you don't want to keep on doing the butter. Once you get that first setting of brown butter, take you some little olive oil and add in there. It's A, going to increase the smoke point of the overall cooking fluid, and B, it'll save you constantly trying to remelt the butter. The what am I calling it? What am I looking for? The brown butter is basically going to just give you kind of a nutty aroma and flavor to it. And you're going to cook these maybe about 2 to 3 minutes per side. While these are sitting here, I might as well go try one of these while we're waiting. I think you'll like that one. That's the that was the Perch. The director is not a huge fan of fish, as she said. Give me the one that's not that fishy. Here's another thing, folks. If your fish is fishy, it's probably because it's not as freshest. Fresh fish, I know this not from the days, from experience in general. Fresh fish doesn't have that fishy flavor to it. It's going to taste like fish, but it shouldn't have a fishy odor to it. And if you're just now tuning in, this lovely refreshing beverage I'm having, this little homemade margarita, took 2 ounces of tequila, about 1.5 ounces of juice. The juice I used was fresh squeezed orange juice and lime juice. And simple syrup, I use about 1/2 ounce of honey. You mix it all together. Real quick drink to get you through the week. All right, let's go and flip this over. Please, again, click that like button, click that share button. If you're out there right now watching, please shout out some. Let us know you're there. Hey, Jenny. Hoping you get out here again soon. We can all connect again like the good old days. Who's that? Hey, Erica. I hope you got that message about that wall. That was a one-off bill. But I will give you the plans if you want to build yourself one, and I will help you out. Hey, Aunt Jean. I'm glad you're in as always. You are by far my biggest supporter when it comes to tuning in, week out. So for you especially, if you have anything that you really want to see me cook or try, shout it out. Either, call in or email me, Facebook me, and I'll definitely get your show on there if it's something I can know how to cook. My cousin? Hey, cuzzo. Actually, even if I don't know how to cook it, I'll attempt to cook it, and we'll see how it works. So again, folks, if you are just now tuning in, we are doing a brown butter perch. I went fishing yesterday, and I caught like a 300-pound salamander. No, I'm lying. I caught some perch and some barracuda, mackerel. We're doing a California blue perch that we dusted off with some seasoned flour. So we took a cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of salt. Took some butter and browned it off. So you just cook the butter until it gets brown and frothy. Pan fried those floured fillets in there, about 2 to 3 minutes each side. And we're done with that one. As far as the ceviche, again, with the fish I caught yesterday, I'm taking some white fish, 3/4 cups of lime juice, about 1/4 cup of orange juice, and a teaspoon of honey. You mix that all together, pour that on the fish, and let it cook the fish so the fish gets kind of opaque, whitish. It's going to change from the color it was to the color it's supposed to be. After that sits for about 20 minutes, you're going to add in some plum tomatoes, half of red onion that's been diced, a clove of minced garlic, some cilantro. But if that sounds anything like pico de gallo, that's exactly what it is. So save yourself some time. Go to the store, get some pico de gallo. You're going to mix that in after the 20 minutes. Let it sit about another 10 minutes. And then after that's done, you're going to season it with salt and pepper to your liking. And then you're going to fold in some avocados. And that will be your simple ceviche. For tonight's drink, we did a margarita. 2 ounces of tequila. Your choice, silver tequila is what I'm using. Ounce and a half of juice. I use fresh lime juice and orange juice. And half an ounce of honey. You can also use simple syrup or agave. Stir it up in a mixing can, strain it out of some ice, and there you have you a nice quick tequila. You could garnish it with some salted rims and all that, but I ain't that fancy. We almost done with this fish, and we got 39 seconds left on this ceviche. As you see these, get a close up on these pan fries. You see the color on them is looking real nice. And for those of you that really watch your calories, if you don't want to use butter, you can use olive oil, but this is not a heavy meal by any stretch of the imagination. So the wife is on low carb, so she's probably going to just have this with the ceviche. My daughter wanted roasted potatoes, so I'll tell you real quick what I did with those. Nothing fancy. Took some red potatoes, diced them into quarters. Dice those into, little quarters. Season up with some olive oil, some salt, pepper, and some minced garlic. And we roasted them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes or so. So those are already cooked. But my daughter said she wanted some potatoes, so we have that. So you can make this meal as low carb or as fulfilling as you want to. Now, giving y'all a heads up before we shut off this show, the fish may not all get done in time because they saying 20 minutes. It may take longer, but if it don't, I will definitely add it to the final picture shot. Let's go ahead and add in our, get this back up, add in some diced onion, cilantro, some garlic. We're gonna mix that all in. Think you move this over? Yeah. Get that out of my way for me. We're gonna add this all in. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but you see the fish is starting to turn white. And that's what we want. Now, believe it or not, I could have ate this fresh out. That's all sushi is, but I wasn't gonna try that. So we're gonna put this in here, let this go for another 10 minutes or so. Cover this back up and finish off this last fillet. As always, folks, this show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guy as well as Self-Lodge Planning. So, for all your business consultant needs, your tax needs, for your entrepreneurs, business people, and for your individual taxes, please hit up the Self-Employed Tax Guy. He is there waiting and willing to help you out. For your travel needs, once we get off punishment, please hit up Self-Lodge Planning. We are definitely here for your group and travel needs. There will be a lot of deals, I'm quite certain, once this quarantine is over. But until the quarantine is over, stay your ass at home and let us get over with this. I'm kind of tired of being on punishment. Been wanting to get out and go places, and every time we think it's over, something else gonna happen. Now, for those of you that's all on this, I don't need to wear a mask, it ain't gonna help. Okay, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Most y'all are no scientists. But check this out here. You go to stores all the time and it says no shirt, no shoes, no service. You don't balk. You put a shirt on, you put some shoes on, so you can get some dadgum service. Why don't we do that same thing? Whatever you believe is what you believe. But I'm trying to get out and travel. Throw a mask on, give it a couple of days. If they wrong, they wrong. What did it hurt you? You wore a mask. That's enough for that rant. Put the damn mask on. Almost done with these. We got 6 minutes left on that. And if you're just now tuning in, again, to recap, today we're doing some ceviche. Yours truly did go out there yesterday deep sea fishing. Tired as a dog in the midday sun, but went out there and caught some barracuda, some perch, a couple of mackerel, some whitefish. So we're using the whitefish to make a ceviche. We took about a pound of whitefish. You can add scallop or shrimp to it. I didn't because I only want to make it out of what I caught. 3/4 cups of lime juice, a 1/4 cup of orange juice, and a teaspoon of honey. You mix that all together and you pour that over your cubed fish and let it cook until it turns whitish, an opaque color. Once that's done, after about 20 minutes or so, you're going to add in about a half of red onions been diced, a clove of minced garlic, some cilantro, or you can just go buy some pico de gallo, which is what I did, and mix that in there. Let that sit for another 10 minutes. Once that is done, you're going to add in some avocado, some cubed up avocado, some salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin just because, and serve it either as an entree or as a side. For the brown butter perch, we're actually doing perch and barracuda, but you can use any type of firm fish. Take some seasoned flour, about a cup of flour. You're going to season it with a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of salt. Brown off some butter in a pan. Once that is browned off, you are then going to cook the floured fillets for about 2 to 3 minutes per side until fish is done at about 145, till it's done inside. And there you have it. For tonight's drink, because it's always going to be a drink, because I think better when I'm drinking, did a quick margarita, 2 ounces of silver tequila, about 1.5 ounces of juice. I'm using fresh squeezed orange juice and fresh lime juice. There was no half and half, just whatever filled up the cup. And about 1/2 ounce of honey. Mix that all together, stir it in the can, pour it over some ice, and you got you a nice refreshing beverage on this 90-degree summer night here in Southern California. Got about 4 minutes left on that ceviche, and we're almost done. Taste the honey more than as I got to the bottom. That's actually pretty good. We're gonna figure out to thin it out some. Again, almost done with the ceviche, and I'll show you the final product. As always, thought that them shameless plugs. This show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guy, as well as Self-Lodge Planning. So if you have business consultant needs, please hit up the Self-Employed Tax Guy, and for all your travel needs, please hit up Self-Lodge Planning. If you're out there in Facebook land or on YouTube, please shout us out. Your question is just say, hey, you're here, so we can say, hey, back at you. Hey, Alicia. I'm who? What? Hey. Ricks. Hey. Ricks is on, and Jenny. We definitely want to get the gang back and have some of our old time happy hours that we used to. It's been a minute. All right, let's see. See how this one looks. All right, we are done with these fish. Now we got a couple minutes left on here. Let me check on this ceviche and see what we're looking at. Now we're gonna give that about 2 more minutes for that ceviche. But just to recap again, so we went fishing yesterday. I'll tell you right now, if fishing you might not think is your thing, it was actually pretty therapeutic. There was folks on there that didn't catch a damn thing, and they still had fun because you're out there in the ocean. Yes, we were social distancing, and yes, we did have on our masks. They had us separated quite a distance away. Normally the boat holds like 100 people. There was only like 30 on this particular vessel. But went out there, out in Oxnard here in California. Went out there about 6 in the morning and went out fishing. Fish wasn't biting like we wanted to, but I was able to catch some whitefish and some mackerel. A buddy of mine caught a blue perch, which we're cooking tonight, and the captain came out. It's funny. Some people just got that neck. I joke you not. This guy walks off out of the, I don't get the hull or whatever they call it, wherever the captain's berth is. He comes down, he grabs his pole, puts his little bait on it, and we sitting here in the water. The water is only about 30 feet, so it's kind of shallow, and cast his line out, 2 minutes flat, he catches a barracuda. Walks out, he was like, one and done. Y'all want the barracuda? We like, yes, we do. So we're cooking the barracuda. I, on the other hand, probably cast about 75 times, only caught about 8 fish. So there you have it. I guess I ain't got the knack of it, but we're going to cook it tonight. All right, that'll do it. Let me go ahead and pull out this ceviche. And while I'm at it, grab in some diced avocado. So, to recap, folks, the ceviche was basically some fresh fish, or the freshest fish you can find. We're using whitefish. Any type of whitefish will work. You dice it up or cube it up. And into that, you're going to pour on 3/4 cups of fresh lime juice, preferably. You can use concentrated, but fresh lime juice preferably. 1/4 cup of fresh orange juice and a teaspoon of honey. You're going to mix that all together. You're going to pour it over the fish and let that sit for about 20 minutes or so until the fish begins to turn to a white, opaque-ish color. After that 10 minutes is done, you're going to add in 1/2 red onion that's been diced, about a clove of minced garlic, some cilantro. Let that sit in there for another 10 minutes. Once it's out, which is where we're at right now, we're going to fold in some diced avocado. And then we're going to adjust this for taste. So we're going to fold in this diced avocado. Get that all. Don't go crazy with the mixing, because you don't want to destroy the avocado chunks. Fold those all in. I'm going to add in, for start, maybe 1 second. I'm going to fold in maybe a teaspoon or so of cumin. I'll do that. And then put in a little salt and black pepper after I taste this to see how much. All right. Mix that in nicely. Let me taste it first. See what this tastes like. Don't need much salt, but I keep my salt and pepper already mixed. But add just a little bit of salt and pepper. And let's see how this goes now. Grab a little bit of this avocado with this one. That's pretty good. All right, folks. Let me grab these potatoes and let's go and get the plate. Give me 1 second. All right there, folks. Sorry about that. I had these in the warmer inside. So, move all this out of our way. Got a mark on here. Just to rub it off. We're going to add in a piece of the perch along with a piece of this barracuda. Add in, add in some of these roasted red potatoes. I'm gonna tell you right now, my plate ain't award winning by any stretch of imagination. I got a cousin who's a chef who always talks crap about my plating, but she's a chef. I'm just a dude, fat dude that like to cook and make videos. And we're going to add in some of this ceviche. I'm going to drain some of this liquid off of this one. And there you have it, folks. Ain't the best plating, but hope y'all at least get the gist. There you have it. Another simple meal. Simple being relative on this one since we had to work for the fish. So we took some white fish or some perch. We dusted it in some seasoned flour, seasoned with a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of salt. Dusted that off, and then we browned off some butter in the pan. So you put 2 tablespoons of butter in a skillet until it turns brown and frothy, and you pan fry the fillets in that. From there, for the ceviche, we took a pound of whitefish, 3/4 cups of lime juice, a 1/4 cup of orange juice, a teaspoon of honey. We poured that over the diced up whitefish and let that do its cooking thing for about 20 minutes or so. After the 20 minutes, we added to that some diced tomatoes, a half of a red onion that's been diced, a clove of garlic that's been minced, some cilantro, and we let that sit for about 10 minutes or so. Then we folded in some avocado, added in some salt and pepper to taste. I tossed a little bit of cumin because that's just what I like. And there you have the ceviche. If you want to keep it going further and grab you a drink, no quick recipe. 2 ounces of tequila, half ounce of juice. I use lime juice and orange juice mix, and a half ounce of honey. Turn it up into a can, pour it over an ounce, and there you have a simple margarita. Until next week, folks, where I'm not sure what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing something for you right here on Create Simple Meals. Remember, there are absolutely, positively only 3 rules I have when it comes to cooking. You must have passion, you must have patience, and you must be willing to practice. Until next week on Create Simple Meals, hit me up, give me your thoughts, your feedback, your criticism, your ideas. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. See you next here about 7 o'clock next Tuesday. Snap this picture real quick. There she can be.